Let's come now to our next lesson, which is all about the parabola. So let me read first the definition of a parabola. A parabola is the locus of a point which moves in a plane so that it is always the same distance from a fixed line of the plane called the directrix, which does not pass through the focus. Let us interpret this definition. So let us draw first a Cartesian coordinate axis, and suppose we have uh, a moving point in which it is always, as the definition says, it is always at the same distance from a fixed line of the plane to the focus. Okay, suppose this is our fixed line. So this fixed line does not pass through the focus. So let's say our focus is right around, is right around here. Okay, so this is our focus. Okay, so that means that the point moves in such a way that it is always equidistant from this line and this focus or this point. So suppose that point is here. So this distance is equal to this distance. So it could be this point also, as long as this distance is the same as this distance, or this point. This distance is equal to this distance, or it could be this point, which is the midpoint between this point and a point within this line. Okay, so if we trace that, we'll get this figure. This is now the parabola. In this case, this is a parabola opening to the right. Okay, suppose this is the parabola. This distance is equal to this distance. So this leftmost point of this parabola is called the vertex. So let's label this as V, or vertex. And this vertex is located at HK. So this point is H distance from here and K distance from here. So let's call that H. Now let's take this distance as A. So the distance from the vertex to the focus is, let's denote that as A. So if we follow the definition of a parabola, this point to the focus should be the same as its distance to the line called the directrix. So this distance should also be A. Distance is also A. Okay, now let us consider a point that runs in this parabola. So let's consider this as our point xy. So that means this distance is y and this distance is x. By definition of a parabola, this distance should be the same as this distance. Okay, let's call this distance d. So that means this distance is also d. Okay, now taking a look at this, what would be the value of d? So remember that this distance is h, and this distance is x. What is the value of distance d? So that would be this minus h, so that would be this distance, plus x, which is this distance. Okay, ito kasi yung axis natin, the y-axis. So this distance is x. So x plus this distance, that would be d. And this distance is a minus h. So therefore, it should be x plus a minus h. So that is the distance of d. Now, if we look at this side, to get the distance of d, we'll just use the distance formula. But let us label first the coordinates of the focus. So, syempre, the value of x sa focus is ito. From here to, from here to here, that's a, and this is h. So, this distance is h plus a. Okay? Or pwede din, baliktarin na natin, a plus h. Okay? Then, of course, the ordinate is just y, or no, it's just k. Okay, so by distance formula, that would become d, or how about let's make it d squared, is equal to this minus this, then squared. So x minus a plus h squared plus y minus k squared. Now, if we equate the two equations, d squared is equal to d squared, that would become, so eto, square lang natin to, this would become x plus a minus h squared equal to, of course, this is d squared, that's x, or how about if I rewrite this as x minus a plus h, oh no, minus h, then squared, plus y minus k squared. Then let us simplify. So this would become x squared plus 2ax minus 2hx minus 2ah plus a squared minus plus h squared. 2ax minus 2 minus 2ah plus a squared plus h squared. So this time, kung i-multiply or expand natin, minus dito, subtraction, so ano kayong mangyayari? So this would become negative, negative, then the second term positive, then the third term that would become negative and positive, positive. Okay, so magiging reverse lang ang signs. So this would become negative, that is equal to x squared minus 2ax minus 2hx plus 2ah plus a squared plus h squared. Then meron pa tayong plus y minus k squared. Then if you notice, pwede tayong mag-cancel out sa dalawang sides. So x squared will be cancelled out. Then also 2hx, negative 2hx will be cancelled out, as well as a and h. So what remains is this. So let's rewrite that. Let me erase this. So if we rewrite, that would be 2ax minus 2ah equal to 2ax plus 2ah. Then plus y minus k squared. Then if we combine, eto magiging positive siya dito. So that would be 4ax. Magiging negative siya minus 4. AH, that's equal to y minus k squared. Okay, so factor out 4a, that would be x minus h equal to y minus k squared. So rewriting, that would be y minus k squared is equal to 4a minus h. So this is actually the standard equation of a parabola, since ito yung dinerive natin, a parabola opening to the right. Opening to the right with vertex at hk. So that's it. So i-generalize lang din natin. If we derive an equation opening or a parabola opening to the left, that would just be y minus k squared is equal to negative 4a x minus h. So this is a parabola. I-shortcut ko na lang, to the left, vertex at hk. For parabolas opening upward, so that would be x minus h squared equal to 4a y minus k. Ito yung ma-derive natin. So this is upward with vertex at hk pa rin. And if we have x minus h squared equal to negative 4a y minus k, that would be downward with vertex at h. Now, if the vertex is at the origin, syempre mas simpler, we'll have y squared is equal to 4ax, that would be to the right with vertex at the origin. And we'll have x squared equal to 4ay, that's upward with vertex at the origin. Now, if we have y squared equal to negative 4ax. That would be to the left with vertex at the origin, and if you have x squared equal to negative 4a y, that would be downward with vertex at the origin. So these are the standard form of the parabola. Now let us observe a particular point here. If we pass a line segment through the focus to end lying on the parabola. So ito siya. This is called the latus rectum. Okay? So lagay tayo dito. So this line is the latus rectum. It passes through the focus and its end is at the line. At the parabola, sorry. From here to here, if you recall the definition, that would be equal to this distance. And since distance is equal, since this distance is equal to a plus a, so this distance is 2a. That means this distance is also 2a. Okay? Now, kung ang parabola natin is just a mirror image dun sa baba, that means this distance is also 2a. So therefore, this distance or the length of the latus rectum is 4a. So hence, our formulas are just equal to this. Ito siya, this is just the length of the latus rectum. Okay, yung 4a. So to get the end of or the ends of the latus rectum from the focus, you just move upward by 2a or downward by 2a to get the other end. So ganun lang siya. So let us label this. This is the latus rectum. Now the ends of the latus rectum, let's call this LR. If we call this one LR1, that would be K. That would be located at the abscissa of the focus or the x coordinate of the focus, but located at 2a above its ordinate. Okay, so that would be K plus 2a. Now, dito sa baba, let's call this LR2. It is located still at a plus h, pero pababa na siya. That's K minus 2a. So that's the location of the ends of the latus rectum. Now let's take this first, x minus h squared equal to 4a y minus k. Kung expand natin siya, then arrange natin siya into an implicit function in the x and y. That would become like this. So x squared minus 2xh or 2hx plus h squared, that would be 4ay minus 4ak. So magiging x squared minus 4ay, then the rest, x squared minus 2xh or 2hx na lang, ito pa rin yan, then plus 4ay, then we'll have plus h squared plus 4ak. This should be minus 4ay. That's equal to 0. Tama na ba? Okay. Pag ganito yung ganito yung forma niya. If you notice, these are all constant. H and A as well as K are constants. So collectively, this is a constant, a single constant. If we base sa general equation of a conics, we have ax squared plus by squared plus cxy plus dx plus ey plus f equal to 0. This is the general equation of a conics. So kung i-relate natin dito, kung mapapansin nyo, ito na lang. Ito, which is this. Then this, which is ito pala. Then ito, meron siyang y. Then constant. Ito, constant. So we have x squared plus start muna tayo sa ax squared plus dx plus EY plus F equals 0. So, pwede tayong maglagay ng A dito or pwede din, i-let na lang natin A equal to 1. Okay, kasi dito, if you try to take a look at that, the coefficient here is 1. Okay, so pwede rin, eto na lang, x squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. So these are for parabolas opening upward. For upward kasi to, di ba? So for parabolas opening to the sides, eto naman, y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. Okay? So these are the general forms of the equation. General forms. First problem, we have find the vertex, focus, and ends of the latus rectum or endpoints of the latus rectum of the parabola y squared plus 3x minus 2y plus 7 equals 0. So in order to answer this, let us first transform this into its standard form. So in standard form na siya, doon na natin malolocate yung mga points. Okay? Separate na natin. Let us move the lahat ng y terms sa left, then yung x dun sa right. So we'll have y squared minus 2y, that's equal to negative 3x minus 7. So from here, pwede tayong mag-perform completing the squares at the left side. So we have y squared minus 2y plus 1, that's equal to negative 3x minus 7. Then we need to add 1 to balance. So this is now the square of y minus 1. And sa other side, that would be negative 3x minus 6. So we could factor out negative 3. That would be x minus 2. Oh no, sorry, x plus 2. Since negative 2 siya, so that means a parabola is to the left. This is to the left with vertex at hk. So yung partner ng x, yun yung h, yung partner ng y, yun yung k. So that's negative 2, 1. So it opens to the left with vertex at negative 2, 1. Now, since this is negative 4a, diba? So ang value ng 4a natin is 3. So 4a is equal to 3. So if 4a is equal to 3, that means a is 3/4. Okay? Now, we could locate now the location, or we could now locate the points that were asked in the problem. So the vertex, okay na, then we need to find the focus. Okay, so let me graph that. So the location of the vertex is at negative 2, 1. So ito, this is negative 2, 1. Now, kung it's opening to the left, that means we'll move from this vertex, we'll move a units to the left. Okay, so by 3/4, so 3/4, that's 0.75, so around right here. So eto siya. This is now the location of the focus. Ito yung vertex, then yan yung focus. So let me move that here. O dito na lang, that's a vertex. Then what is the coordinates of the focus? That would be, the focus is located at negative 2, then to the left kasi tayo, that would be minus 3/4. Then the same location ng ordinate. So negative 2 minus 3/4, that would be negative 11. The focus is at negative 11 over 4, 1. So that's the location of our focus. Okay? Now, the parabola is opening to the left. Drawing na lang din natin. Let me use this. So, it's opening that way. No, this is the vertex. So, like that. So, yun yung parabola natin. Then, ano pa? A vertex focus, ends of the latus rectum. So, if this is the length of the latus rectum, the ends are right here. So, eto and eto right here. So to get these points, let's call this LR1. So that would be the same ordinate, nasa aligned siya sa focus, diba? So the same lang tong distance. So this is still negative 11 over 4. 11 over 4. Oh, let me change this. This is negative 11 over 4. Now, the value of, oh no, the ordinate is just from here, mag-move tayo ng 2a. So, ang 2a natin, that would be 3 over 2, right? We multiply this by 2. Okay. So, that's 3 over 2. So, that would be 1 plus 3 over 2. So, 1 plus 3 over 2. 5 halves. 5 halves. Then, the other end, so that's LR2. Again, located siya the same point as the focus along X. Pero yung sa Y naman, that would be 1 minus 2A, which is 3 over 2, negative 1 half. So, not drawn to scale yung drawing natin. That's negative 1 half. So, that's it. So, here are our answers. The vertex, the focus, and the ends of the latus rectum. So, that's our answer. Let's now proceed to the next problem, problem 17-2. Find the equation of the parabola with focus at 1, negative 1 and directrix y equals 2. So the best thing to do is first plot these points and line. Okay, the focus is located at 1, negative 1, so this point, that's 1, negative 1. And the directrix is y equals 2. So kung ang directrix y equal to, that would be a horizontal line right here. Wait. This one. So this line is y equals 2. So if the directrix is horizontal, that means the parabola is opening downward. Kasi ito, 'di ba? By definition again, from focus, equidistant yung point sa focus and sa directrix. So ito yung vertex natin. So nandito yung vertex, dito siya mag-open. So this is a parabola opening downward. So let me plot that parabola. Let's say around here. So that is our parabola. Okay. Now, if it's opening downward, our standard equation should be, that would be x minus h squared equal to negative 4ay minus k. Ayan. Now, what would be this distance from from this point, which is 1, negative 1 to the directrix y equal to 2. So since this distance is 2 and this distance is y, so from the directrix to focus, that would be 3. Okay? So if that is 3, remember that this distance is a and this distance is also a, right? From our derivations, from focus to the vertex, that's a, and vertex to the directrix is also a. So therefore, this distance, which is 2a, that's equal to 3. So therefore, a is 3 halves. Or 2a is equal to 3. That means 4a is equal to 6. So meaning, ito, we already have a value for this. This should be negative 6. Now, to locate h and k, sa graph na lang tayo titingin. Of course, the location of the abscissa, that is still the same with the focus. So therefore, the abscissa is just 1. Then the ordinate, that will just move from this point upward by 3 halves, because remember, 3 halves is a. Okay, so that would be negative 1. Then let's move upward by 3 halves. So that would be 1 half. So the location of the vertex is 1 half. So yun. So the vertex is located at 1 and 1 half. So that means our h is 1 and our k is 1 half. Then substitute to get the formula, that would be x minus 1 squared equal to negative 4a, which is 6, times y minus 1 half. Okay? Then expand x squared minus 2x plus 1, that's equal to negative 6y plus 3. Then x squared minus 2x plus 6y minus 2 equals 0 is our answer. So that is our answer. So i-check natin using a graphing utility. Let us x squared minus 2x plus 6y minus 2 equals 0. That's similar to our figure here. So that is the parabola with directrix equal to 2, and the focus is at, the location of the focus is at 1, -1. So yun, and the vertex is at 1 and 1/2. So our answer is correct. Okay, for our next problem, we have this problem 17-3. Find the equation of the parabola passing through 0, 0, 1, 0, 5, -20. So in this case, gagawin natin dito is by using the general forms of the equation of the parabola. But our problem is we have two options or two choices for that. So how would we know if we'll use this one or this one? So the best way to do that is to plot the points, then guess na lang muna tayo. The location of the points, we have the origin, and we have 1, 0, and we have 5, -20. Okay, so we have this one. We have these points, the origin, 0, 0, and this point, 1, 0, and 5, -20. So, our parabola, if it's hindi naman siya pwedeng opening upward, no? You cannot draw a parabola opening upward that would pass through these points. Parang imposible din to the right or to the left. So, probably this is a parabola opening, or what actually fits is a parabola opening downward. Okay? So, let me do that. Assume natin. So, let us assume that this is a parabola opening downward. That means, vertical yung axis niya. That means yung gagamitin natin sa dalawang choices is, which one? This one. This is for vertical axis. So, the equation, the standard equation that will be, the general equation that we'll be using here is x squared plus dx plus ey plus f equal to 0. So, in order to get the values of these three unknowns, we need the value of d, e, and f. We need three equations. And to get the three equations, we need three conditions. So, these are now the conditions. So, at 0, 0, so that means x is 0, y 0, cancel out. That means f is equal to 0. Now, if we look at the point 1, 0, it passes through 1, 0. That would become 1 squared plus d times 1 plus e times 0 plus f is 0. That would be equal to 0. So, therefore, we have 1 plus d equals 0. So, d is equal to -1. Now, at 5, -20, we'll have 5 squared plus d times 5 plus e times -20 plus f, which is equal to 0. And d is equal to -1. So 25 minus 5 minus 20e equal to 0. That's 20 minus 20e equal to 0. So 20 times 1 minus e, so e is equal to 1. So the equation now is x squared plus or minus x plus y equal to 0. So this is our parabola. Let us check. So the given points are the origin, 1, 0, and 5, -20. So our answer was x squared minus x plus y equals 0. Ayan. So it passed through the 3 points exactly. So we could say that our answer is correct. And that's it. Very easy. Let's proceed to the next problem, the fourth problem. Find the locus of a point which moves so that its distance from the line x plus y plus 1 equals 0 is equal to its distance from point 1, 1. So for better presentation, gumamit lang ako ng tool in order to graph the given condition. So, titingnan natin, this would be the behavior of the point. So if that point moves in a way that it is always equidistant to this line and to this given point. Let's say, eto siya dito. This is equal to, these are equal. So, kung nandito siya, these are also equal. It could also be this point because, or this point, basta eto sila are equal. Or it could also be this point. So, if you follow that trail or that locus, you'll have a parabola with an axis na nakaslant. So, the axis of the parabola is actually paganyan. So, it is not the conventional parabola opening upward and downward. So, the best thing to do here is to solve this using what we did in our derivation. Okay? Sa derivation tayo magbe-base. Okay, let's try to answer this. Suppose we'll consider this po. I-drawing muna natin yung parabola. More or less, ito yung parabola. Ito dito banda yung vertex. So, let's consider one point in the parabola. Let's call that xy. Of course, the distances from xy to this point should be equal to its distance to here. And if you recall, the distance from a point to a line is given by the equation. So the distance from a point to a line is given by ax plus by plus c over square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay? Wherein eto siya, this would be the equation of the line. So in this case, our a is 1, our b is 1, and our c is 1. Ganon. So the distance, I'll just call that this na lang, or pwedeng d na lang din. That would be x plus y plus 1 over square root of 1 squared plus 1 squared. Since the point is above the line, ito, okay, we'll choose positive values. Now, so okay na to. X, then y. Because this is our unknowns. And the coefficients are 1, 1, and 1. Ito, 1, 1, and 1. So we'll still have this equation. Now, the distance could be rewritten now as x plus y plus 1 over square root of 2. Now, looking at the distance from ito, the distance from x, y to 1, 1, that would be distance squared is equal to x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared. That's it. Then if we equate these two distances, kasi they are the same according to the problem, so you'll have x plus y plus 1 squared over square root of 2 squared, that's 2, that's equal to x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared. Then we'll just need to simplify this. Okay, expand the numerator. We have x squared plus 2xy plus 2x plus 2y plus y squared plus 1 squared. Okay, of course, over 2 pa to siya dito. Then that's equal to, let me write it here na lang. That's equal to the expansion of x minus 1 squared. So that's x squared minus 2x plus 1. Then expand y minus 1 squared. That would be y squared minus 2y plus 1. Then we just transpose 2 to the other side. So we'll have x squared plus 2xy plus 2x plus 2y plus y squared plus 1 equals minus 2 minus 4, 4x plus 2y squared minus 4y. Then this is 1 plus 1, 2 times 2, 4 plus 4. Then combine all the like terms. We'll start with x. We'll have x minus 2x. Or ito na lang. We'll transpose this to this side. So I'll start with x. So that would be x squared. Then how about, so no, this y. Then minus 2xy. Then minus 6x minus 6y plus 3. Okay, so this would be our answer. This is the locus of a line, of a point that is always equidistant. Okay, ayan. So kung i-plot natin siya using Desmos, so the given line was x plus y plus 1 equals 0. Then given point was 1, 1. And our answer is x squared plus y squared minus 2xy minus 6x minus 6y plus 3 equals 0. So that's our answer. Ayan, so it's a parabola opening to the right pero slant ang axis. Fifth problem we have, find the length of the chord common to the parabolas y squared equals 2x plus 4y plus 6 and y squared equals 3x plus 3y plus 1. So first let us plot these parabolas. So we'll just use a plotting tool para madali. The first parabola is y squared equals plus 4y plus 6. This parabola. So we have another parabola which is y squared is equal to 3x plus 3y plus 1. So there, chord. Okay, the problem is asking to get the length of the common chord. So that means that is the chord that is common to both parabolas. So ibig sabihin we need to get the point of intersection of these two parabola or the common points. Then if we connect that, that would be the common chord. Ganun lang kadali. So what we need to do with this equation or with this problem is just to equate these two equations. So we have y squared is equal to y squared, then let's just solve the value. So y squared is equal to y squared. So that would be 2x plus 4y plus 6. That's equal to 3x plus 3y plus 1. So we could start with this, but what it will give us is actually the equation of the line that is common, or the equation of the line that is passing through the common chord. But let's still try that. So that's x minus y minus 5 equals 0. Ayan. So if you plot that sa plotting utility, x minus 1, y minus 5 equals 0. Ayan, that is the line line passing through the common chord. But it's not what we are trying to get here. Ang gusto nating i-solve is the value of the distance, meaning we need to get the points, then we need to get the points of intersection and get the distance by distance formula. So to get the point of intersection, we could think of this as the point of intersection are also the point of intersection between this line and any of these two parabolas. So let's just choose one. For example, I'll choose this line and the first parabola. So doon ako magsusubstitute. So let's say solving for x dito, I'll have x is equal to y plus 5. Then I'll substitute this para makuha yung point of intersection nito doon sa first equation. Pwede rin sa second equation, that's okay. But if I use the first equation, I'll have y squared equal to 2 times x, which is y plus 5, plus 4y plus 6. Okay? Then I could now solve for y. Okay, solving for y, I'll have y squared equals 2y plus 10 plus 4y plus 6. So y squared is equal to 6y plus 16, or y squared minus 6y minus 16 equals 0. So we have a quadratic equation, so we'll have two values of y. So ang gagawin ko, I'll just use a calculator to solve this para madali. Using a calculator, that would be, ilagay natin y. Y squared minus 6y minus 16 equals 0. Then we ask the calculator to solve for y. So shift solve. So we have y is equal to negative 2 and y is equal to 8. Okay, then solving for x, when or if y is equal to negative 2, since x is equal to 5, y plus 5, so x is equal to negative 2 plus 5, x is equal to 3. So therefore, the point of intersection is at 3, negative 2. So that would be this point. This is 3, negative 2. And the other point of intersection is when y is equal to 8. So we'll have x is equal to 8 plus 5. So x is equal to 13. So we also have another point of intersection, 13, 8. So that would be this point. This is 13, 8. So to get the distance between 3, negative 2, to get this distance from 3, negative 2 to 13, 8, we'll just use the distance formula. So dito ko na lang isulat. Okay, dito. So by distance formula, distance now is equal to the square root of 3 minus 13 squared plus negative 2 minus 8 squared, or the length of the common chord. So that's square root of 3 minus 13 squared plus negative 2 minus 8 squared. So that's 10 square root of 2, or 14.14 units. So this is the length of the common chord. That's our answer. Okay, for our sixth problem, we have this. When the load is uniformly distributed horizontally, the cable of a suspension bridge hangs in a parabolic arc. If the bridge is 300 feet long, the towers 60 feet high, and the cable 20 feet above the roadbed at the center, find the distance from the roadbed to the cables at intervals of 50 feet. Sorry, it should be at intervals of 50 feet. Okay, how do we solve this? First, we need to illustrate the problem. So the roadbed, the roadbed is this, and it is 300 feet long. Now, let's say that the towers is located at the ends of this bridge, of this suspension bridge. So this is tower 1, and this is the other tower. And of course, if we know ang suspension bridge is parang yung Golden Gate Bridge. Ito, may cable siya dito na suspended, then dito nakakonect sa road. Ganon. So the tower is, let us label first the bridge. The bridge is 300 feet long. Hindi naman masyadong mahaba. That's the distance of from tower to tower. Then the tower from the roadbed to the top of that tower is both 60 feet high. That's both 60 feet high. So, of course, kung uniformly distributed, the cable will form an arc with, of course, a vertex, or it will form a parabola with, of course, a vertex at the center. So, eto yung mapoporma niya. So, this is now, yan. So, eto yung center. Okay, and the center is located at, this is 20 feet above the roadbed. So the question is now, ano yung mga distances at 50 feet interval? O ganito na lang, since this is just symmetrical from here up to here, pwede din yung mga intervals dito na natin ilagay, because that is the same intervals, or the distances from the roadbed to the cables, or these distances, ganun din naman dito. Okay, so meaning if this is 300, so this is 150, so at 50 feet interval, that would be eto, then eto. So dalawa na lang isosolve natin. Okay, so let's label that. So, dito, ito yung hanapin natin at interval of 50. Tapos dito din, another 50 feet. Ayan. So, ang hanapin natin is this distance is called as H1 and this distance is called as H2. So, the best thing to do this is to relate this as a parabola. And pinakamadali is let's take this as a parabola with vertex at the origin. Okay? Para 0, 0 na yung origin natin. So, if it's a parabola with vertex at the origin and opening upward, we'll be using x squared equal to 4ay. So, yun lang gagamitin natin formula. Diba? That would be the equation of a parabola opening upward. Ito. With vertex at the origin. Okay? Ganon. So, how do we compute now the equation of the parabola? Siyempre, ang gagawin natin is let's locate the points. Okay, ito yung origin natin, di ba? This is our 0, 0. Now, if that is our 0, 0, this distance would be, or the coordinate of this point would be ito, which is half of 300, so 150. This point here is 150, 150. And ang ordinate naman, this distance, ito yung axis natin, di ba? Ito yung axis natin. So, this distance would be 60 minus 20. So, 40 na lang to dito. So, this coordinate is 150, 40. So, therefore, kung yan yung condition natin at 150, 40, we could solve for the value of A. So, x is 150 squared. That's equal to 4A times 40. Okay? Then we have the value of A, or simply 4A na lang. Let's now solve for 4A, which is 150 squared over 40. So, gamit na lang tayo ng calculator. So, we have 150 squared over 40. That's 1125 over 2. So, the equation now is x squared equal to 1125 over 2y. Okay? So, pwedeng ganyan. Or, y is equal to 2x squared over 1125. So, that would be the equation of y. So, ang hinahanap natin na points are these points. This point and this point. And the coordinates of these points are, of course, eto siya 50. From here to here, that's 50. So, 50. Then, h1. Itong coordinates dito, that would be h1 minus 20. Okay? Now, the coordinate of this point is this distance, which is 100. And, of course, this distance is h2 minus 20. This is h2 minus 20. So, we could now solve for the values of h1 and h2. So, let's start with at 50 h1 minus 20. That is for the distance of the first point, ito, cable to the roadbed. So again, our equation was y is equal to 2x squared over 1125. So our y here is h1 minus 20. So h1 minus 20 is equal to 2 times our x here is 50 over 1125. So, let's just use a calculator for this. Okay, so yung h, gawin na lang natin unknown x. X minus 20 is equal to 2 times 50 squared over 1125. So the answer is 220 over, I'll shift solve. That would be 24.44 feet. So that's the answer. So next for H2, H2 is located at 100, H2 minus 20. So in this point, y is H2 minus 20 equal to 2 times the value of x is 100 squared over 1125. So we could solve for H2. So let's just change this to 100 and shift solve. We have 37.78 feet. So these are the answers. This and this. So ganun lang siya kadali. Okay? Okay, for your assignment, you answer this problem and comment your answers at the Facebook page.